Hi, it's Jonathan Quail again for another edition of the Lifebuilder Daily Quote. And today, instead of just being a reflection, it's a life hack, which means that I'll be sharing a very practical tool or technique that you can use to help you to improve your life based on a quote. So there will still be a quote. The quote I want to share today is by Eckhart Tolle from his book A New Earth. And he said this, and I love Eckhart Tolle's teachings because he tries to keep it very simple, and he uses things like breathing, which is what today's quote is, to help us connect with the simplicity, really, of all true spiritual teachings. So he said in A New Earth, being aware of your breathing takes attention away from thinking and creates space. It is one way of generating consciousness. Although the fullness of consciousness is already there, as the unmanifested, we are here to bring consciousness into this dimension. And then he goes on to do a little breathing exercise, so I'll do that with you now. So I just want you to be aware of your breathing. You can close your eyes if you like, just sit quietly and comfortably, and just tune into your breath. Just notice what's happening with your breath. How are you breathing? Are you breathing deeply? Are you breathing shallowly? Are you breathing through your nose? Are you breathing through your mouth? Are you breathing into your belly? Is your belly rising and falling? Or is it just really into your chest? So just tune into these. And notice the sensation of the breath. Feel the air moving in and out of your body. So as you inhale, feel it moving in. And then as you exhale, feel it moving out. So if you were breathing through your mouth, I want to just ask you to switch to nasal breathing. So we should really be breathing through our nose all the time, but some people don't. Mouth breathing tends to activate the fight or flight response, which gets us quite stressed up, activates cortisol and adrenaline. It's designed to cope with emergencies, but it's certainly not designed for relaxation. So just start breathing through your nose, and to help you do that, I want you to put your hand on your belly, on your stomach, and just push out. As you breathe in, you push out with your belly. That means that the diaphragm is basically contracting and sucking air into the deeper parts of your lungs, which then expands the belly. And then as you exhale out the nose again, you should feel the belly naturally contract and fall. And just notice that. Just keep doing that process for a few breaths. Breathe in, notice how the air flows in, notice how the belly rises. And the chest rises slightly, and then as you exhale, notice how it contracts slightly. And just tune into the subtle movements of your breath. So keep doing that as I continue just talking you through this. With your eyes closed if you like, or your eyes open. So one conscious breath is enough to make some space. Where before there was just an uninterrupted succession of thoughts. Even better if you can take 2 or 3 or even 10. As many times a day as you can remember. So I'd like to introduce you to life hack number 1, which is conscious breathing as a conscious practice throughout the day. So if you take a break every hour to an hour and a half, it's not very healthy to sit at a desk behind a computer all day. So just try and take a break and take 10 deep breaths like this. You can stand up or you can sit down. You can go outside if you've got an area outside that's got a little bit of nature. That's always good, preferably with some fresh air. If you can't leave the office, then just sit in your chair, close your eyes, and do these 10 deep breaths. You've probably done 10 by now, so just continue for another 10 as I continue to talk you through this. And doing this is a really good way of bringing some space, just clearing your mind. bring space into your life, clearing your mind, and de-stressing. So it's very easy to get ourselves very worked up with our thinking. If every hour and a half you just take a little break, call it a breath break, and you do this for 10 breaths, you'll find that just helps you to clear some of that mental static that goes on in our minds, that gets us stressed out. If we do this all day, by the end of the day we're exhausted because our brain has been in a beta state. Beta is a brainwave state where we have a higher frequency of brainwaves, which means that we're thinking more. So, and that's fine sometimes. Occasionally you need to do that. But if that carries on for long periods of time, we get extremely fatigued mentally, and we feel like zonked out, like we just need to rest, we need to go to sleep, or meditate is a good solution. So doing 10 minutes of this breathing is a great idea if you're really feeling tired and mentally fatigued. Because the truth is, in that state of mind, you're not going to be very productive. You probably know, and I would bet that in companies and organizations that productivity drops dramatically in the afternoon because people start to go into that state where they've been working for quite a long time, and so they get mentally fatigued. There's also a natural dip in our biorhythms after lunchtime, and that's accentuated if we eat the wrong kind of foods, and I'll talk about that in another life hack. But for now, just concentrate on your breathing. So just do a few more deep breaths in and out through your nose, just tuning into your breath, watching the breath, and kind of noticing your mental state as you do that, noticing how that feels. Are you feeling more relaxed, calmer? Because breathing isn't really something you do, it's something that you witness as it happens. It just happens by itself. So there's an intelligence in your body that does it, and all you have to do is watch it happening, and go into the observer or the witness position. And that does something very interesting for our minds. That helps us to clear our minds of all the involvement, all the scattered thinking that our minds love to engage in. In Buddhist teachings, they call it the monkey mind, because it's just chattering away, or the chatterbox, chattering away, and it's very difficult just to control that and say, right, I'm just going to stop that. So breathing is really a way of starting to control your mind, and that's why it's been used since ancient times in yoga. It's a key practice in yoga. Many other spiritual traditions, Chinese tradition, the Tao, they've got a breathing practice called Qigong, and millions of Chinese do that every day. They go to the parks in the mornings and the evenings, and they do Qigong, and it helps to calm them down and make the society a lot more peaceful. Also, just notice these last couple of breaths if you're breathing unnaturally, in an unnaturally shallow way, because that's not going to help you. So if you can start to breathe deeply and diaphragmatically through your nose, let the belly rise and fall, that's going to help you. Because the breath has no form as such. It has since ancient times been equated with spirit, the formless one life. So the Bible said God formed man out of dust from the ground and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and the man became a living creature. There's an example. A lot of languages use the words for breath and soul or spirit synonymously. So the German word for breathing, Atman, is derived from the ancient Indian Sanskrit word, Atman, which means the indwelling divine spirit or God within. Similarly, in Latin, spiritus was used to describe the breath as well as this life principle, this indwelling life that gives us life. It gives the body life. And in the Greek, pneuma means to breathe, and it also means life or spirit or soul. So in all the ancient traditions and languages, this connection between the breath, because the breath has no form, it's not manifest, and that's why it sort of connects us with this idea of this unmanifested spirit that we can't see or feel or touch, but And there's no doubt that there's something there, there's a presence there. And the fact that the breath has no form is one of the reasons why breath awareness is an extremely effective way of bringing space into your life and of generating more awareness, more consciousness in your life. Because it forces you into the present moment, which is the key to all inner transformation. So whenever you're conscious of the breath, you have to be present. You may also have noticed during this little exercise that you can't really think very much and be aware of your breathing. So conscious breathing stops your mind. But far from being in a trance or half asleep, you're actually fully awake and you're quite alert. So there's this interesting combination of being alert and being relaxed. And that is when we can achieve optimal performance in whatever we're doing. That's what I call a state of flow. In sport they call it the zone, and I'll do a reflection on that tomorrow. So you're not falling below thinking, but you're just kind of rising above it and transcending it. And if you look more closely, you'll find the two things, coming fully into the present moment and not thinking, without any loss of consciousness, so you're not falling asleep, are actually one and the same. It's the rising of this awareness of space, of something other than just your thinking. So I hope today's life hack was interesting. I hope you'll use it. Just to summarize, if you do this every hour to an hour and a half throughout the day, just take a minute or two to do 10 deep breaths and close your eyes. I think you'll find it's a great practice that will help you to bring some awareness into your daily life, and actually will make you more productive, because taking some time out for a few minutes every hour and hour and a half will actually make you more productive, because it'll give you the mental clarity and space to think better. So I hope you enjoyed that. Just to mention, if you're interested in going a little bit deeper into this, I will be doing a free webinar this Thursday evening from 7 p.m. UK time, 8 p.m. South African time, where I will be guiding people doing the webinar through a conscious breathing practice as part of the webinar. So you'll get to experience this for 5 to 10 minutes with a 10-step letting go process to help you to let go of any negative, stressful thoughts or emotions. The breath goes really, really well. So it's a great practice to use with this idea of letting go. So if you're interested, go to the website. It's theaolg.online. Theaolg.online. You can see it on the screen now, and book your place for the webinar. Thanks again for listening, and I look forward to catching you tomorrow for my next Lifebuilder Daily Inspirational Quote and Reflection, which will be on flow in sport, the zone, which is quite close to my heart because I was a professional squash player. So look forward to catching you then. Have a great day in the meantime. Bye for now.